Hi guys, welcome back to another Minimum Wager's Kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make some very cute mini holiday pies on a budget. Let's get started, shall we? Alright guys, so the first pie is going to be pumpkin pie, and we're going to make this mini pumpkin pie using these very cute pans. Now if you can tell, I've already buttered these, and you can just use your fingers or paper towel or a towel with it as well. So the next step, we're going to make this as easy as possible because let's face it, during the holidays, there's time constraint. We don't have a lot of time to do a whole lot of stuff. And we're also going to keep this on a budget. So I'll make sure to add the total right down here or over here. We'll see. So we're going to go ahead and open this pre-made dough that I bought at the store. I mean, you can make your own for sure. And I know I'll have recipes where I make my own as well, so you can learn. But for today, because it's the holidays and we don't have much time, let's go ahead and use some pre-made dough today. If I can open the package. I am just unrolling this very, very carefully because it has been sitting out, like the instructions say. So we're gonna go ahead and put it on here. And I'm just going to use this so I can go ahead and cut out the pieces that I need for these little guys. And I am going to need 2 of these. So that'll be 2 9-inch pie crust doughs. Those usually come in a 2-pack anyways because you'll have the bottom and the top. And so you'll be able to get obviously a little bit more than the 3. Today we're making quite a bit of them, but I'm also going to show you a trick of what to do with the remaining parts. So you can decorate the top of your pies and make them look super cute. Alright you guys, so since I decided to squish this accidentally just a bit, I'm going to go ahead and carefully work with this dough until I can peel it apart. Now that I've got this just about unrolled, and of course I made a hole in it, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a little tiny bit of dough there and boom, that's taken care of. I'm going to go ahead and keep this from the last little batch of dough here that I had, so that would have been the other slice of that. So alright, so we have this buttered up, and what I'm going to do is just put this down on here. And again, we're not making these perfect. I want these to look really kind of homemade, artisanal, as a lot of people would like to say. So all I'm going to do is just go ahead and measure this with my knife, and got a little bit here, like about an inch or so. I know I have to cut right there. Do the same around. Boom. That looks great. And same here. Oh, there we go. And now, this does not need to be perfect because again, we are going for a more artisanal look. So we'll go ahead and put that aside because I'm going to show you a little trick here of something fun to do with that. Make sure that that is nice and sealed. And now it is. Oh, goodness. There she slides. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and make a fist. And make sure too, if you have even like a little bit long nails, you're going to poke through your dough if you're going like this. So go ahead and use your knuckles. That's your best bet, and then that way too, you're being gentle to the pastry dough. So I'm just going to let this fall. And for this one, we'll do something fun. Make sure that it's all the way to the bottom. And if you need to hang your dough, that's okay. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and use knuckles here and go around. Okay. Of course, you can go around with your thumbs around the base. And now we can have a little fun by just going like this. Crease in and out, crease in, out, in. We're not doing this perfect, by the way. Out, in. Just showing what you can do with a little pie crust. Not too hard. And again, you know, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going through the artisanal look. All right, so we've got our 3 little guys here ready to go in the oven, but first we have to mix up some pumpkin pie filling. I'll be right back. So before we do that, let me show you a little trick here to get some really cute cutouts for your pies. And let's go ahead and do a cutout here. And the easiest way to do this is go ahead and hold this down and pull. And now you've got this little cute cutout. So then you bake it off for about 8 minutes or so, depending on the instructions, and you have one of these. I ended up putting a couple little lines on there so it looks like a tree trunk and whatnot, and some branches, just to make it fun. You know, we'll put those on our pies later. All right, let's go ahead and put our pumpkin pie filling together for our mini pumpkin pies. So we'll go ahead and start with our dry ingredients, and really all it is a 1/4 cup of sugar, a dash of salt, 3 for good luck. Then we're going to go ahead and add 1/2 teaspoon of the pumpkin spice. I'm also going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of the cinnamon. And go ahead and mix all your dry ingredients together. That smells really good. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add a 1/2 can or 7.5 ounces of plain pumpkin puree, not the pre-made pumpkin pie filling. So just regular pumpkin puree where it hasn't been sweetened or anything else. Next, we're going to go ahead and add 6 ounces of evaporated milk. And then we're going to go ahead and beat an egg real quick. And dump that right in. And then we're going to go ahead and mix all of this real quick. Make sure it's all nice, well incorporated. Scrape the bottom of your bowl as well, so that way your sugar that's on the bottom there, granulated sugar that is, you're getting that all mixed in as well. So I'll go ahead and show you what it's starting to look like there. Alright, so we've got all of our ingredients mixed in, and I'll show you what it looks like. Pretty simple. Not too many ingredients. This smells really good. And I'm very excited to try it. Alright, you guys, so let's go ahead and pour our pumpkin mix here. Oh, and I was going to go ahead and show you guys this. So it's super easy. If you mess up and let's say you have a hole or something like I did right here, all you have to do is just patch it up. Do make sure though that you do poke the bottom of these so that way you don't get the weird air bubbles, because those, it'll mess up the texture. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill this up to about almost a 1/4 of the way top, because it is going to rise just a little bit while we're cooking it. And we have just enough for the 3. Alright, so I have these filled already, and again, about 1/4 to the top right here. And I am just going to do just a tiny bit of cinnamon right on the top of these before they go in the oven. Doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of, and it's okay if you get on the crust. And the last part for this is optional, so you pinch a little bit of brown sugar on top. Just to make it more fun. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put these in the oven for 425 minutes for about 15 minutes or so. Then we're going to go ahead and turn down the oven at 350, and we're going to go ahead and bake these for about 25-35 minutes. We'll really keep our eyes on this just because, again, everybody's oven's a little different, but that way too, you don't burn the crust, and also too, the pie doesn't crack. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop these in the oven. Alright guys, since we have our mini pumpkin pies in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make some really yummy mini chocolate pecan pies. Alright, super easy recipe. For the ganache, we're going to go ahead and turn on our oven to a nice warm simmer. And that's so that our chocolate is going to melt with the cream here. Now, I've already warmed this up quite a bit and it's ready to go. What you want is little tiny bubbles. You don't want it to boil, especially because the bottom will be touching the water. And so what happens, you'll get boil over, it might get into your ganache, it also might get on you. I don't want you to get hurt. As the cream warms up, we're going to go ahead and add our chocolate here. And today for the recipe, I'm going to be using a 1/4 cup heavy whipping cream, and I'm going to also be using a 1/2 cup of the semi-sweet chocolate. You can also do regular milk chocolate, or you can do dark chocolate. It's what you prefer, really. So we dump those in there, and now I'm just going to go ahead and start stirring until they start melting. These should start melting pretty quickly. I mean, as you're dropping these in and stirring them around within the first 20-30 seconds, they really should start melting quite a bit. Alright, so at about the 2-minute mark, these really should be almost melted here, and I've gotten to that point already. I've kept my heat at a simmer, so that way you're not scalding your cream or burning the sugar in your chocolate. Also, that reduces the amount of crystallization as well. As you're mixing, you'll know you're pretty much done when all the chocolate chips have melted and you have more of a fudge consistency. I'll show you here in just a second. Alright, so that really is the consistency you want. Almost pudding-like, just a bit thicker. Yeah. There you go, a little ganache. You can definitely leave that on here. I would take it off the stove so it stays warm, but that way too, again, you don't want to form crystallization. And that is just to keep it warm so we can have a little workability with it here in just a few moments. Alright, so this is super simple, guys. I'm going to show you real quick. First off, we are going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon right into some box pudding mix that I've already made. Follow the instructions. Go ahead and just use 1/2 box. It's usually the ones that are the small ones like that. They usually require about 2 cups of milk. So just go ahead and decrease it down to half the packet. And then of course, if it is 1 cup or the ratio that you need, go ahead and use that. So all I'm doing is adding that cinnamon to the pudding mix. I'm going to go ahead and taste it and make sure it's all right. You can add more if you want. Today I'm going to. We're going to go ahead and add our chocolate pudding with the cinnamon mix. And all we're going to do is divvy up that recipe in half on both of these little pies. So first I'm just going to go ahead and add this just to fill the bottom. That way I have a prettier edge. Now don't forget, we're going to top this off with a little bit of the ganache, and we're going to also top it off with some of our pecan and brown sugar mix. All right, so what I'm going to go ahead and do now, I've got a half cup of the chopped pecans, and then I also did a half cup of the just regular brown sugar. Actually, you don't have to, just regular brown sugar, whatever you have available. And what I'm going to do is add half of the topping on one and then half of the topping on the other one as well. And what I do is just make a little mountain on the top. Makes it so much easier. Now, the brown sugar likes to fall to the bottom, so you do want to mix it a little bit more. And it seems like a lot, but trust me, it definitely does the trick. And then all you have to do is disperse. Don't squish it down, you don't have to. And it's okay if some of it falls off, you can just throw it right back on top. But this way, it looks more like a little pecan pie. With our ganache real quick here, I'm going to go ahead and warm this up again and not get ganache all over my counter. Okay, so for this, I've got that little piping tip right in here, and all I'm going to do is cut that. Boom. Look at that. And now I'm just going to go ahead and put some lines on here. And you should have just enough to do this part. I'm doing this because this is easy, and I think it's important to just kind of, you know, you're saving some time, so. Alright, and this is optional. I just throw some more pecans on top, so that way it makes it look cute. Especially too because your ganache will kind of spread a little bit. And what I've done is I've taken a fork and just kind of lightly scored it. I guess not scored it, just marked it so that the pecans have somewhere to actually grip to. Otherwise, you'll have to kind of squish them in, and, you know, that's not going to work out so well. Alright, so we've got our pecans on here. Okay, so there we go. That's our little, cute little chocolate mini pecan pie here, that chocolate ganache. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and make our last pie here. I've got about 20 minutes here on the pumpkin pies. In fact, let me take a peek. Ooh, those are coming out cool. So let's go ahead and get started for these. Again, go ahead and bake your pie crust off and just follow the directions like the packaging says. If you do have a couple pieces that come off like this, don't fret about it, not a big deal. Anyways, you're going to go ahead and put pie filling in here and all sorts of stuff, and guess what? Nobody's going to see that, so nobody needs to know. Alright, so first thing, we're going to go ahead again, do a half package of the pudding mix, and that's about that cup's worth. That'll actually fit on here perfectly. We're going to also do 1.5 tablespoons, that's tablespoons of cinnamon. And we're also going to go ahead and do a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Make sure you pack that brown sugar in there, because that is definitely going to be, otherwise it's not going to be the right consistency and also the right flavor. So we're going to go ahead and just mix this here with a spoon, nothing fancy. It does look pretty though, it's very cinnamony. Looks like a cinnamon roll topping. That's always what I think about. So it takes no time at all to make this one. All we're going to do, just like the last one, we're going to pour half and half of the mixture here. Okay, so these are filled. Now, let's burn some things, but be very safe about it. I was like, I'm wondering if I can burn some marshmallows with a torch lighter, and of course you can. So I'm going to add about 4 or 5 on the top of this. I just want to give them a little bit of color and also soften them just a touch. That way I can work with these on the pies. And I'll show you real quick here. It's being in a little campfire. And that's what I mean. It does smoke, so you don't want your fire alarm to go off. See what I mean? Alright, so since these are still just about... Oh. So yeah, I figured I'd do one with the roasted marshmallows. Wow, that worked really fast. Okay, one more for funsies. But yeah, kids, don't do this at home. You're not supposed to be watching this. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and burn the top here. There we go. Super cute. Alright, well, for this one, you don't have to do that, so just saying. You can just do one of these, and that way, make it look more cute. No, because have fun with it. It's the holidays. Gotta have fun. Alright, so these are pretty much done. I'm going to go ahead and give this a quick sprinkle of cinnamon on the top. And you know what? Let's not forget about our toppers. So I'm going to go ahead and move this little guy over and do one of these. Nobody needs to know. And do one of those because, well, there was no room on that pie. I'm going to go ahead and use this little guy, the star, or I guess a snowflake. Put that in the center. And then for our little roasted marshmallow, version, I'll go ahead and use the little tree. And again, with the little cutouts that I did for little branches. We'll just put that right there. And that looks festive and adorable. And you know what? So simple. Oh my gosh. So simple. Although this feels more like a beach theme now. Alright, you guys. So, pumpkin pies are pretty much done. This one is still slightly cooling, but I'm still going to go ahead and taste it because I'm super excited and it is super adorably cute. So, the other ones are back here cooling still as well. So there's a little crust action going on there. Nothing fancy, just, having a little holiday fun. And then, of course, our little mini chocolate pecan pie with the pecan and brown sugar topping, and then ganache on top, chocolate ganache that is, and of course a couple of pieces of the pecans as well. And we did do the little topper here, our little cutout, which is super cute. I think it makes it look great. And of course, this one looks more like a, I don't know, ocean theme, like beach house theme. But anywho, this one is the mini marshmallow brown sugar cinnamon cream pie. I'm excited about this one as well because that pie filling was super yum. And again, you guys, this took no time at all. For the filled pudding pies, you can actually go ahead and bake off the crust the night before and cool it off in the refrigerator so that way you're ready to go, and it'll take no time at all to make these. Alright, you guys, so let's go ahead and try out the first one here. So the first we're going to try out is, since this one's cooling still, the pumpkin pie, let's go ahead and try the mini chocolate pecan pie. So this one I'll show you real quick. Has cooled nicely, and the ganache is, well, not hard, but it's a crust now. And as you can see, the ganache has set, so we're good to go. And look at that! Isn't that cute? And it's nice because our crust did not get burned, nor did it get burned on the bottom. Alright. Let's go ahead and give this a taste. I'm so excited. I have to move multiple pies here out of my way. So let me go ahead and grab a knife here. We'll use the small paring knife because I guess that's quite appropriate for this tiny mini pie. Ooh, that cuts so nicely. Alright, let's give her a go. Ooh, yum. That's really good. The nice cinnamon, brown sugar in there. Now that we let this sit in the refrigerator for half an hour or so, not too long, that brown sugar has kind of melted in. It's not all crunchy anymore. So it's got a nice texture to it. I'm gonna get that little last bite there. I love the fact that the crust isn't all soggy or anything like that. You would think that the crust might be a little bit soggy after sitting with, chocolate pudding and all that in there, but it doesn't. Really, this is an easy one to make. Actually, all of these are pretty easy. I would say the hardest would be this guy right here, just because you do have to make sure that you let it cool down. You're mixing several more ingredients. You're taking a little bit more time to incorporate those ingredients. And also too, that baking process of taking that, extra 15 minutes at the beginning to make sure it's a higher temperature, and then reducing it to a lower temperature so that everything really just bakes properly. Well, I thought this one was good. I'm excited about trying our beach theme. Alright, so we have our second pie, which is the mini marshmallow brown sugar cinnamon cream pie. Let's go ahead and give this a taste, shall we? Gotta love these pans. Let's see if this guy works for me. There we go. Let's go ahead and slide that off onto the pan and get it all over my hand. Let's go ahead and cut into this and try this one out. Oh, with a piece of marshmallow, of course. Trying to do the tiniest little daintiest pieces, but we'll see here. All right, let's give it a go. It almost tastes like a cinnamon roll. That's really good. I have to say, so far the mini marshmallow brown sugar cinnamon cream pie is my favorite. Alright guys, we're going to try the last one here. It is almost cooled down. It's taken quite a bit to cool down, to be quite honest, because, you know. So we're going to go ahead and open this. So exciting. And again, these are fantastic. This one is just slightly warm on the bottom, so I'm just going to go ahead and safely do one of it. Alright you guys, check that out. Isn't that awesome? Okay. Now, it's about seeing if I can loosen this up without completely cracking it. If not, we'll cut it on here. In fact, that's what we'll do. Oh my gosh! It worked. Yay for butter! Alright, look at you guys. Isn't that cute? Of course, you got a little crack there. Nobody needs to see that. Look at you guys. Isn't that cute? Nice little pie there. So fun. Very artisanal. But yeah, I think this is adorable for, like, you know, a little standalone for you pie. Probably a bit bigger than a, you know, regular slice. But this is adorable. And I have to cut into it, and I gotta try this. I'm so excited. In fact, let me see if I can cut it this way so you guys can see. And let's cut this baby right in half. Yum! Well, heck. There you go. Look at that. Still a little bit hot, but yum. Look at that. There you go, huh? Isn't that cool? So cute. You could share this, so, you know. Also, I mean, you can totally share this with 2 people. Also, too, it's pumpkin pie, so we gotta have a little whipped cream with this. And if you've seen my first video with Francesca, we do a whole thing about coffee. So yeah, check it out. Fancy coffee on a budget. So this whipped cream, I like to ultra whipped cream it. So I usually do probably a little bit longer than most people do when you're whipping whipped cream. And I do add a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of sugar. I did add a little bit of the cinnamon on here just because it goes so well with pumpkin pie. So we'll have some with some whipped cream. Because why not? Alright guys, let's go ahead and give this delicious pumpkin pie. Whoop! Put that right back on there. Pumpkin pie a taste. I have to hold on to the whipped cream because the pumpkin pie is still a bit warm. Almost like ice cream. That's really cool. Now it looks like ice cream. Look at that. Now it looks like ice cream. Alright, give this a taste. Yup, missed that from last year. Now here's the thing with this recipe too. It does have more spice to it. It's lovely with that whipped cream. You can definitely add ice cream as well if you'd like. And I also do suggest like a Dutch ice cream, like a Dutch chocolate. That's really good with this as well. Mm. Tell you what, I'm destroying this because it's freaking good. And you know what? You can definitely make your own pie crust, that's fine. I usually make my own, but for time's sake, especially too during the holidays, you can just pick some up. It's usually on sale, so that's the best time of year to buy it as well. And that way you're saving a couple bucks, some time, and you get some delicious pie out of it. That's some good pie. Well, you guys, I had a great time today making all these fun little mini pies for you. I definitely love the pumpkin pie. That one is one of my favorites always anyways. But the crust, that was fun and new for me to do this year. A little bit different, you know. Make it all funsies here. And of course, too, with these guys. So much fun making this cute chocolate pecan pie for you guys. Especially with the chocolate ganache on top. A little bit more of the pecans. And that little tiny topper on top, which made it super cute. And of course, our last one, which seemed very beachy themed, but hey, whatever. You can decorate it how you want to as well. These little tartlet pie tins really made a difference. You can pre-bake that pie crust a day before, and it's going to work out for you, saving you a bunch of time. And of course, you don't have to burn the marshmallows. In fact, just be very careful if you do. And of course, don't let the kids do it by themselves. Give them a little supervision, alright? Of course, I just used regular marshmallows for this one. And I gotta say, So which one was my favorite? And of course, I was gonna say the mini marshmallow brown sugar cinnamon cream pie, but I definitely changed my mind. It's gonna have to be the traditional pumpkin pie I make pretty much every year. Except this time, I made it a little different. And I used one of these guys here, so that way I could get a much higher crust. And it worked out pretty well. That way you have room for your whipped cream on top. Yay! Alright guys, that was a lot of fun. These were super good. I'm sure I'm going to have the craziest sugar high after this now. Alright guys, thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to hit like, don't forget to hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get more videos now that there's a bunch up. Yay! Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time, and don't forget about the Minimum Wagers Kitchen. See you next time. Bye! Bye!